So what's going on YouTube? I just thought I would give you guys a rundown of the TRX4. I've got most of the work done to it. I didn't video a lot of it because I don't have a way to edit. And then I've got the what I was working on, and I've got the grill, the front grill put in, which I went over that with you guys in another video. You gotta trim it out, comes with a template. The front, I mean, it was kind of a pain in the butt. If you guys do this, don't stretch the template really tight, because it can throw off. I had to do a little extra trimming. Luckily, I just got lucky. You can't see the extra trim here in the body. But I got it on. The headlight kit's on order for it. I bought a cheap 5mm because these are a 5mm. Just so you guys know, the rear and the front are both 5mm LED acceptable. They just go in and clip in tight. So, I mean, if you're running the Traxxas Light Kit, you're not going to have a problem, but I'm not running the Traxxas Light Kit. So, I'm just running like the cheap, I think they're like, I paid like $6 or $7 for the 5mm, and they're really bright and they work really well. Now, I've never had any problem with them, several years of using them. So, that's what I'm running. I've got the one coming for this. It's just going to be straight on headlights and straight on, tail lights, no brake lights and stuff. I'm not getting into that fancy wiring and everything with this. It's just a Lexan body, so I'm not going that far with it. But anyways, I got the grill in, came out pretty good. And then I got this the other day. I got a deal on this from a friend. He got rid of the guy I got the Scout off of, he got rid of his sport body, and he had this and never used, so I got it for a couple bucks. Should have bought the whole body because he had the body that was already trimmed. I just didn't have all the money to buy everything at one time, so he sold me this really cheap. I've got it in. I made one tiny little mistake up here that you can't hardly tell. I was getting this lined up. This makes this body, this headlight and taillight section makes this body like so much better, so much nicer, guys, for a Lexan. Traxxas should have went ahead and put this in here. I'm sorry, I'd be willing to pay a little bit more money for the truck with this stuff already on. I'm gonna hopefully get the Expedition rack pretty soon. I've added some scale crawler decals on the back, King Shock, centerline, my Interco sticker. Most of the guys running around here, I'm not a huge fan of Monster Energy, but I had a scale Monster Energy graphic decal. Most of the trucks running around here always have the Monster Energy drink decal in the back window. So I went ahead, and AMSOIL is one of my favorite oil. So I went ahead and did an AMSOIL, and then Peterson Off-Road Full Wheel Parts decal here in the back glass. Just some companies that make real one-to-one off-road parts, performance parts, and everything. So there's a couple things I want to go over with you guys. You'll see I got different bumpers on here. I sold some stuff a while back to a guy, and they had these bumpers. These are the Vanquish Origin bumpers. You can get them, the cheapest place I think you can get them on Amazon. They got here in like 3 days. Was like $15 something, $16 shipped to my door. I haven't ran these bumpers yet. They definitely sit up higher. I really like these bumpers. They seem like they're pretty well made. I mean, they are plastic, but that's fine. I mean, I was gonna go with a steel bumper, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to. I kind of like this too because it kind of leaves me. I want to get some CB antenna. I was gonna get one that goes into the body, but I think this has enough meat here. I can mount a semi-scale looking CB antenna off here to the side. You can pick those up really cheap. Once I get my Expedition rack and stuff first, I want to get it on here first. So, but anyways, yeah, I got these Origin bumpers. That's the rear bumper, and I'll go over what I did. I was really surprised. Okay, This is the front bumper. I really dig the front bumper, guys. Here's my thing. I didn't have to trim anything on this body. I was very surprised. What I did what you guys should do to improve your approach angle on these, you flip your front bumper mount, and you can get on Trax. Traxxas has this stuff. Just Google it. Like Traxxas is like Comp Crawler Convert. I don't know that they have on there, but they have something on there where they talk. You know, there's just a page you pull up and it tells you how to flip your bumpers and your sliders and all that. Speaking of sliders, my body's poking outside on here. Anyhow, I flipped the front bumper mount. I didn't have to trim the front here out. The body has not been raised. I keep the bodies as low as I can get them because you want to keep your center of gravity as low as possible on a crawler. But I flipped my front bumper mount, pull out, flip it, turn it, put it back in. I slid the bumper clear to the last notch. So the bumper slid as close to the body as I could get it without. I almost modified it and slid the bumper all the way against it, and but I'm gonna probably be putting a winch on here, and it is drilled out up here. I think this bumper is more set for a servo winch, but I think I might modify it to put a winch here. So I didn't want to slide the bumper all the way back in against the body, even though I would have liked to, because that's going to improve your approach angle even more with your bumper sucked up in. I mean, I'm not a big fan of taking my bumpers off just to get a better approach angle, because if you're trailing, having a bumper, you roll this thing endo, you need bumpers on a trail crawler, not just a serious, I don't really rock crawl. So, but anyhow, I flipped the front one, okay, and I want to show you guys. Let me set the truck down here. If you'll notice, my front bumper and my back bumper pretty close set, pretty close to where they're even, fairly close. So, oh, and I went ahead and did the sticker, the decal sheet for the fender flares because it looked a lot better with the black. And I've got a different set of wheels coming for this thing. Because they're kind of the similar style wheel, but they're black, and then they have a red anodized red aluminum beadlock ring, and then I've got Predator Compound Proline Hyrax coming for this one, and or I've got a set of J Concept Green Compound Landmines 1.9. I'm going to try both of them on it, see which ones I like the best. My buddy turned me on to the Green Compound J Concept tires, so I may give them a try too. These things work out really well. These are the TSL Bogger RC full drive Super Swamper Boggers, and these tires do actually really well, guys. They do. And these got a super 2-stage foam in them. I took them apart. I don't know what they are, but they're a 2-stage foam. They're super soft. I mean, they really go. They don't like the wet so much in mud, which is stupid because the one tire will eat up the mud like nothing. But they're a good trail tire in the dry. They're not real good in the wet. But personally, from my experience, that's just what I experienced. But anyways, back to the bumpers. I flipped the front bumper. I did not flip my sliders to move them up. Okay, I mean you can pull up the details on there, moving your sliders up. You basically just have to trim your body, move your sliders up. I can't remember how many millimeters, but basically from the way it looked, you trim it to right about here, and then this just moves it up. It is going to give you more clearance on the rocks and stuff. I mean, personally, I'm hitting my sliders. They got some scuffs on them and stuff, but I don't get hung up on them too bad. What I was getting hung up was the factory stock rear bumper. And of course, the factory stock rear bumper, I measured, it does hang out farther than this one does, okay? And I've got the rear bumper as far forward as I can get it also. I could drill extra holes and slide this, and this would sit right against the bottom of my body. And then this tube would, pull up to probably right about into here. I may end up doing that with the rear bumper. Like I said, I haven't ran it yet. This definitely has better angles, and this is going to slide because it's round tube instead of squared off and everything on the rock. So I'm hoping I'll be happy enough with this because You know, it leaves me enough meat here, like I said, for some scale CB antenna spot here or in the corners and stuff. So I'm really hoping that I'm happy enough with that. So, because I mean, I got some other stuff that I want to do. This thing comes with a trailer hitch, or it comes with like a D-ring. I had my toe chain I shortened up in the front. I've got it hooked to my D-ring here. And then once I get my expedition rack, I've got another toe chain we're going to be added to the expedition rack, to where I can actually have a pull chain and I can pull with this when I'm scaling with a friend or whatever. If they have a spot where they need pulled or anything, you can actually hook to here and pull. This is definitely strong enough to pull from. It's plastic, but it is very well made plastic, this stuff. So I went ahead and put the D-ring mount in your receiver hitch, which, like I said, it comes with a ball hitch too, with the receiver that goes in place of that if you want to pull a trailer or and then I don't think this isn't removable. The trailer ball is not removable from this one. You may be able to cut it with a Dremel really flush, then drill through it, and then you could put a probably something else through there to use to hook your trailer, but this would probably be sufficient. Like I said, it comes with both little scale things. I just took one of the factory D-rings from the rear bumper and hung it on there. This is good enough pull point for me right now. I may get one of the aluminum receivers that slide in here for pulling a trailer, because I wouldn't mind getting me a trailer. Right now, like I said, that's just what I did. I didn't flip the rear bumper mount. Back to what we were talking about, I didn't flip the rear bumper mount because you can flip both your front and rear and your sliders. I just chose to get my approach angle a little higher in the front, because I noticed I get hung up. I hit my front bumper more often than I hit the factory rear bumper on the descent. So but anyways, I didn't flip this one because I would have literally had to cut clear up into here when you raise your and if you're extremely comping or something like that, then and you want to run a bumper, then I can understand it. Just personally myself, I thought that would have looked absolutely stupid. And then when you do that, your rear bumper, it actually ends up way higher than your front with them both flipped. So I just did not like that personally for me. I got my shocks reworked on this thing. I got them loosened up a little bit more. I'm working on my weight oil still, testing, tuning, but I've got the shocks set up kind of how it works for me really well. We got the brass portal covers, like I said, I went over in the other video. Something else I picked up I've got to get installed. We got a Holmes Hobby Sport 550. It's a 12 turn, okay, it's gonna be going into this. I figured it'll slow it down a little bit. I'm just gonna run stock gearing on it. I'm gonna get some extra motor lead wires and solder onto this one and get it into here. And then I'll get this in, and then I'll probably go to the Hobby Wing 1080. Just because I want a 1080 in this and I want a 1080 in my Scout. But yeah, we got the Holmes Hobby 550. This is the Crawlmaster Sport. I went with the Crawlmaster Sports because the Trailmasters, I think they're a little more speed. These are a little more controllable, throttle input, and they got a really good drag brake on them. This needs to go in the Gen 8 more so than the Traxxas, so because the Titan motor really works really good in this thing, in my opinion, guys. In the Sport, I don't know about the 2-speed TRX4, but in the Sport, I think it's perfectly fine, right? Honestly, I mean, the XL5 doesn't even really. It gets a little warm on 3S. I've noticed if you're really putting it to the test, the ESC does, not the motor. I personally, like I said, it's not a bad motor. I want to get it out before it cooks, because it's going to go in my daughter's Red Cat Gen 7, and that way, because she needs a lower turn motor. I do not like the Red Cat or the Red Cat 17 turn motors that are in the Red Cat. So this is going to be going in it. So anyways, I got two of these. One for the Gen 8, and then one for the TRX4. There's the other one. I got two. Both of them are 12 turns, going in both of them. I plan on maybe picking up maybe a 10 turn for this later. If I don't like the 12, if I want to need a little more wheel speed, I'll swap out, because I'm keeping my stock gearing. I'm not changing the gearing on it. You know, and I want to keep my wheel speed at least somewhat close to the factory 21 turn Titan. So I picked up this. It's a cordless digital waterproof 35 kg. I picked this up. I'm going to be putting it in here and taking Traxxas's crappy. I mean, it works. It is what it is. This servo will go into my daughter's Red Cat Gen 7. And this is going to be going in the Traxxas. We'll see how it works out. I haven't put it in there yet because I need a servo extension wire. These were a cheap servo. I just wanted to test them. That does look pretty decent, you know, for the price. You know, the stock Gen 8 servo crapped out. It was 25 kilograms on the Gen 8. That's why I got this originally, to go ahead and upgrade it anyways. Which, you know, it's going to end up going in the TRX4. If it's good, we'll get one of these. I'll get probably a couple, 2 or 3 of these and put them back to have on hand. And then, you know, that's going to be going. One of these eventually will probably, if it's any good, will make its way into my Gen 8. But anyways, I just thought I'd share with you guys. Like I said, as soon as my servo extension wire comes in, I'll be putting it into the TRX4. And then this thing comes with an aluminum servo horn with it too, which is pretty nice. You know, I won't be using any of that. I'll be using the stock stuff because they're all 25 tooth. I'll be using the stock stuff. This one has the steel horn, and the Red Cat has the metal horn on it. So, you know, that's just kind of extra. I may be adding this to her Gen 7. I'm not sure. She's going to need a real short one. So, I'm not real sure. These really don't look like they're going to work out. Really, I don't think they're short enough, but... Anyways, it gives you an aluminum horn you can use on something else. I think that's it, guys. I mean, my son's already upgraded. He's already got a real good steering servo and all that stuff in his. So, you know, he's got no problems. I'm just waiting on his axle wheel hub extensions now. So, you know, he's already upgraded with everything that he needs in there electronic-wise. So, the expensive stuff's taken care of. So, anyways, that's what we did to the TRX4. You know, like I said, I think Traxxas should have done this with this body to begin with. That's just my opinion. It makes this body, I mean, personally, I like the scale stickers on there. I think it gives it, you know, kind of a real nice, you know, scale look to it. I'm going to probably be adding a little more weight to my front, not much more. I can't decide whether I'm going to go with the brass pumpkin cover here, or we're going to go maybe with the steering knuckles, brass steering knuckles. I'm thinking about going, or C-hub. Thinking about going with the brass C-hub here, keeping this plastic for the portal housing here in the back, and then my brass here. I just want to get a little more extra weight up front, because when I add that expedition rack, you know, that's going to add more counterweight to the rear of the vehicle, and it's going to be up top. So I want to add more weight down low and to the front of this thing. Just a little bit more, because I am crawling over way more steeper inclines right now with this setup than I was before. I have, however, even with the Bauhaus battery tray in this thing, I have noticed that it's still, if you've got the, hold on a second, get in front of the camera, guys. If you're not running one of the smaller packs, these two I have, batteries, lipos in it. If you're running a big battery, like this one, like I said, I run 3S. I need to pick up a couple smaller lipos still. If you're running these, it's still front end heavy, even with the Bauhaus and the brass in it. I have noticed that. Now running these here, running these batteries here, those two, I actually think, hold on a second, I have a third one here. They're all 3S. This is only a 2200 though, so you don't get a lot of run time. Running these three smaller packs, it's perfect, spot on weight distribution, okay? Where I'm at now. I mean, I'm going up my front yard where the one rock climbs at. It might not look like it in the videos, but that's like a 60-some, I'm going to have to do a video to show you guys. That's like a 60, almost a 60% incline on one spot, and it's usually loose, you know, dirt, and, you know, kind of always wet. It's never usually like really dry or hard packed there. On dry, this thing just tanks it like nothing. You know, when it's a wet, obviously it's a little harder, but It's a very, very more challenging climb than what it looks like in the videos that I have on there. So, I mean, it's very steep, okay? I mean, it's very steep. So, it may even be over 60-some% in a couple spots. So, it's very impressive that this truck, how it went up at even stock, to be truthful with you. So, but anyways, that's what we got so far. Still working on some stuff. Like I said, I want to get a winch on this thing. Once I get the winch, expedition rack, and all the lights, this thing I'm going to call it. I'll probably add the brass up here somewhere to counteract the you know, the scale accessory stuff. And then that's pretty much going to be it, guys. I'm not going to do a whole lot with it. You know, I'm happy with where it's at. I'm going to be trying out some different tires still with it. You know, the wheels that I'm going to be running are the same weight as what these are. I got them from the same place. So, but anyways, that's all we got going. The TRX4 is pretty much getting to the point to where, you know, where I want it. And I like it. I like the way it looks now. It looks a lot more scale than it did. I'm going to be adding more details, obviously, to it, more and more. Once I get the expedition rack on here, and then maybe like even some more like gas can hookup stuff. I'm just not real sure. We're gonna be doing different stuff. So this thing, I've got it pretty much where I want it to be now. You know, just gonna be changing some electronics around, and that's about it. And then I'll do a video with the expedition rack and all that, and the lights and stuff, and I'll show you guys how bright those lights are. I just thought I'd share with you where we're at so far on the TRX4 from the RC Dungeon. Peace.